If you watched my last video, you know that the first thing I'm going to do when I try to write the equation of a parabola is make a quick sketch of the information I'm given. That'll help me determine which of these two models I'm going to use to make my equation. So this time we're given the vertex and the directrix of the parabola. So my vertex is at the point -1, 0, so right here. Again, just a really rough sketch is fine. We don't need it to be super accurate at this point. The directrix is going to be the horizontal line y equals -4. So if I count down 4 spaces, that's going to be the directrix down here. Just by doing those two simple things, I have a really good idea of what my parabola is going to look like and which equation, which model to use up top. Since my parabola will have to pass through the vertex but open up away from the directrix, I know I've got an upwards opening parabola, so something that looks roughly like this. What that tells me to use then at the top is I'll use the x squared model. The x squared is used when the parabola opens up or down. Also, since the parabola specifically opens up, that tells me the p-value, the distance to the focus, is going to be something positive. Okay, so I can write most of my equation. In fact, the only thing I don't know yet is going to be the p-value. So I guess let's go ahead and write down what we do know. Since we have the vertex, we really have our h and k values for the model, so I can start getting all those values plugged in right away. Let's see, so I'm going to start with x. My h value is -1, so in the parentheses I'll have a positive 1, those always switch signs. So x plus 1 squared is equal to 4, that's just part of the model. I don't know the p-value yet, so I'll just put a p there for right now. And then y, since the k value is 0, I guess it doesn't really matter if I put +0 or -0, it's the same thing. I think for my final version I'll just even leave off the 0 completely. I guess then the last thing I need to find is the p-value, which is the distance from the vertex to the focus. Well, I don't know where the focus is this time, but I do know this distance down here. The distance between the vertex and the directrix is a distance of 4 spaces. I guess technically -4 spaces because you're counting down. The focus is going to be symmetrical, meaning if there's 4 spaces down here below the vertex, there must be 4 spaces above it to find the focus. And so somewhere about right there would get me a distance of, if I can make another squiggle, that's going to be a distance of 4 right there. The focus and the directrix are going to be symmetrical, a symmetrical distance away from that vertex. So the p-value then, that's the p-value, is going to be 4. We already said +4 because it opens up, so I guess this is my last step. I'm feeling lazy right here, so let's just erase that and replace that p-value with a distance of 4. I guess the only last thing I'll ask you to do is let's just simplify the other side of that equation. So I'll leave x plus 1 squared in parentheses. 4 times 4 is of course just 16, and since it's a y plus 0 and we don't really care about that, let's just make it 16y, and that's going to be good enough for me. So there's our equation that would describe the parabola described above.